Welcome to the August 26th summary and analysis of Monday Night Raw. It's a pretty solid show. I hope you guys got to tune in. If I'm being honest, I really didn't have any plans of tuning into Raw, but there I was, chilling in the Monday night, chilling on an afternoon, and I turned it on and I enjoyed myself. So let's get into it, man. We start this episode of Monday Night Raw off with the Judgment Day. They open up the show. Dominic Mysterio states his intent to enter the Intercontinental Championship tournament, which will be starting this week and which has started this week. So before the Judgment Day can say too much about Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, and Rey Mysterio, the deadbeat dad himself, the LWO comes out along with Mr. Rey Mysterio himself, who basically says he would love to slap the mustache off of Dirty Dom, his own son. And this leads to a 4v4 tag team match with the LWO and the Judgment Day. And in this match, once again, Dominic Mysterio was able to get the 3 count, the pin, on Rey Mysterio. Looks like they're really pushing Dirty Dom these days, and he deserves it. He's a fantastic heel. What can I say? After the match, the victory isn't enough, as Judgment Day attempt to beat down the other members of the LWO, and it causes Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, the Terror Twins, to run out. Rhea Ripley gets her hands on Liv Morgan. Damian Priest gets his hands on the other members of the Judgment Day. And we end up seeing Finn Balor and JD McDonough take finishers from Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, leading into this big match. Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan versus Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley in a mixed tag team match at Bash in Berlin this Saturday. I thought this was an entertaining and awesome way to open up the show. It also added more depth to the feud that is going to pay off this Saturday at the Premium Live event. Next, we had Damage Control. Kairi Sane and Io Sky take on the Pure Fusion Collection. And they actually get the victory here with help from Zelina Vega. Now, the Pure Fusion Collective have been beating on Zelina Vega over the past few weeks, so it only makes sense for her to kind of run in and give Damage Control the victory here, kind of assist them with the victory. Solid match. It's a shame that Dakota Kai is injured. Every time I see Damage Control, I'm just like, damn, I wish Dakota Kai could wrestle right now. We were so ready for Dakota Kai on Monday Night Raw, and now she's injured again, which is a huge shame. I wish her the best in her recovery, and I can't wait for her to come back. Nonetheless, man, we move on with this Damage Control and Pure Fusion Collective feud. It's pretty solid. I was a big fan of it in the beginning. Now I got to admit, it's a bit boring, stale. I'm going to admit it here, and I hate to say it because I was a optimist with this Pure Fusion Collective faction in the early days. And now we're getting into the mid days, it's not sticking. I'll admit it. And it's okay for things not to stick. Not a big deal. Not complaining here, I'm just saying. Let's move on. We then get Drew McIntyre coming out for a promo segment in the ring. And what's funny is during this segment, I actually see CM Punk go live. And it sounds like he's somewhere in the arena because you could hear the crowd. You could hear Drew McIntyre. And there he comes from under the ring. He was live on Instagram under the ring during Drew McIntyre's promo. And these guys go ahead and throw a couple jabs at each other. CM Punk has the strap that they are going to use for the strap match this Saturday and whips him with it a couple times. Security comes to separate Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, and we slowly build towards Saturday's match at Bash in Berlin. Solid. We then get our first qualifying match for the Intercontinental Championship #1 Contender Tournament. And this triple threat match has Jey Uso, Karrion Kross, and Kofi Kingston. Karrion Kross has a good showing. Kofi Kingston has a good showing every Monday, let's be honest. But main event Jey Uso, Raw's rising star, gets the victory here as he will be one of the four in the Fatal 4-Way match that will determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship somewhere down the line. After this triple threat match, we have a Randy Orton promo segment and they sing Randy Orton to the ring as everybody has fallen in love with his theme song voices. I've been a fan of that theme song since I was like 9 years old, man. So it's really cool to see Randy Orton kind of being a poster boy for WWE. He low key always has been, but now that Cena isn't around, I feel like Randy Orton is finally getting all the flowers he deserves late in his career. And it's really cool to see. And he thanks the crowd for singing his theme song. And I couldn't be happier for him as a wrestler. I think he's awesome. Anyway, Randy Orton builds up his World Heavyweight Championship match he has with Gunther on Saturday. He says, the World Heavyweight Championship is important to me because I was 21 years old when I won it. I'm the youngest World Heavyweight Champion, and it was my first major title in WWE. So Randy Orton comes out and he's explaining why he's going after Gunther here. Beyond the fluke win at King of the Ring, Randy Orton is explaining his intentions and his motivations in this championship match that we will see at Bash in Berlin. Very solid promo here, man. Randy Orton is an excellent promo. He's excellent in the ring. He's the total package. Let's move on. Let's move on to some good fun. The real reason that I tuned into Monday Night Raw this week. Big Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. I saw this match advertised on YouTube and Instagram earlier today, and I said, oh my goodness, they're going to have the two big boys go at it. Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman. My first initial thoughts were, oh my gosh, they're going to break the ring again. They're going to do the superplex off the top rope, and the ring is going to shatter once again. No, honestly, what we got was even better because mid-match, this match actually turned into a backstage brawl, which ultimately resulted in a no contest. However, what followed this backstage brawl was top-tier entertainment. I was laughing so hard. Wrestling is entertaining, funny, serious, and ridiculous sometimes, and this spot was all those things. It had me laughing and smiling ear to ear. Bronson Reed sets Braun Strowman on the hood of a car and goes ahead and jumps on Braun Strowman and the car. This car spot was hilarious, man. Pure comical. The four windows and I believe the front and back hood shattered as Bronson Reed went ahead and dove onto Braun Strowman on the hood of this car. Made me laugh very hard. We saw a couple sparks burst out of the inside of the car. Funny stuff, man. I love when WWE has these epic moments, and this definitely felt like one of those moments that we'll always remember. The way we always remember Brock Lesnar suplexing Big Show on that one random episode of SmackDown and breaking the freaking ring. Of course, they've replicated that moment several times, but this felt unique. This felt new. This felt comical. This felt perfect for a Bronson Reed Braun Strowman match. Cracked me up, man. That car spot. I hope it goes viral online. Every once in a while, a WWE clip will go viral beyond our niche. And I really hope that this car spot between Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman does that because it was hilarious. Next, man, we have two more matches left. We had the second Intercontinental Championship number one contender tournament qualifier with Pete Dunne, Xavier Woods, and The Miz. And I was rooting heavy for Pete Dunne. You guys know how much I support Pete Dunne. I'm a humongous Pete Dunne fan, and I have been ever since the WWE United Kingdom Championship tournament in early 2017 when Pete Dunne was a wee lad with Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, Wolfgang, and all those other cool guys. So I was hella rooting for Pete Dunne in this triple threat match, and he got the dub. And I was happy to see one of my guys, get the dub here, man. I'm a huge bruiserweight Pete Dunne fan. So to see that he's going to be in the fatal 4-way match for the number one contendership to the Intercontinental Championship made me very excited. Next, man, before our main event, unfortunately today, the world lost Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid, Sid Justice, whatever you remember him as. Rest in peace, Sid. We actually got a segment that was very historical and informational, explaining who Sid was in and out of the ring, explaining his accomplishments in the ring, explaining what he'll be remembered as by his peers. And it was very cool to see amongst this tragedy. Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, Sid Justice passes away at the young age of 63, and you hate to see it, man. Rest in peace. And I wish nothing but the best to the family. Let's move on, guys. This was a very heartwarming segment to see what an impact that Sid had on the wrestling community in its earlier days of the 80s and 90s. Nonetheless, man, we get to our main event. We have Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable, a highly anticipated match. This is a money feud that they've been building on Monday Night Raw for the past few weeks. So I am so glad that I got to see the in-ring debut of Uncle Howdy against Chad Gable. I do say that this Wyatt Six stuff is fantastic, and I stand by that. However, I can't help but be very sad every time I see Uncle Howdy or any member slash presentation of the Wyatt Six. And that there's nothing wrong with that. It's such a dichotomy of emotion with the Wyatt Six. I'm so happy that they're here and doing their thing, and the presentation is over. I think the gimmick is awesome, and I think they're here to tell amazing stories. I'm always excited to see what's next for them. However, I can't help but miss Bray Wyatt, who was one of my favorite wrestlers during his time on this planet. So I gotta say, man, the dichotomy of the situation for me personally can be tough and taxing sometimes because I do miss Bray a lot. Nonetheless, man, we see some really cool spots. I loved Uncle Howdy's move set. It reminded me a lot of Bray while also kind of deviating it into its own thing. I think that was handled perfectly. It's not exactly like Bray, but it's reminiscent of Bray, which was really cool. And then we see a really cool spot. We see an angle slam onto the announce table done by Chad Gable to Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy was able to overcome this adversity and get the victory with the Sister Abigail finishing move. Rest in peace to Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, man. I'm really happy that this Wyatt Six gimmick story presentation is going the way that it is because I think that it's going very well. It is balancing being its own thing while also holding on to nostalgia and love for Bray Wyatt. So I loved that this episode ended with an Uncle Howdy win in his in-ring debut. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a Monday Night Raw summary and analysis. Listen to me. Get out of your head and be in the present and have a good Tuesday tomorrow. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Continue to do your best. Alleviate your anxiety by turning off your mind and thinking about how your body feels. That is how I alleviate my anxiety. I alleviate my anxiety by stopping the overthinking and thinking about how my body feels. And normally, once you do that, you'll realize your body feels good. It's a good day. It's a good day to be alive. So, guys, do your thing this week. Be awesome. We will talk soon. I don't know if I'll be watching NXT or AEW. It's not on my watch list this week, but nonetheless, man, I'll see ya when I see ya.